Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, we're gonna set up our environment on the Linux operating system. So with that said, let's do this. All right, so let's get started setting up our environment for Linux. And I already have made this video on how to set up for Windows, which is the operating system and the version that I'm gonna be using. But once we set up our environment for Linux, it's gonna be the identical process. So let me just come down here under my first video, and you see all the tools I'm going to be using: Visual Studio Code and Beeb extension, Nesasm, which is our NES assembler, and our emulator for the NES, which is a FCEUX. I wish I knew how to pronounce it, but that's the one I'm going to be using. And the first thing that I want to do is, since the other one is going to be the easier process, let me just get the harder one out of the way. It is to compile our NES assembler over here. And to do that, I already have our GitHub account over here. So actually, I didn't download it yet. So let me download the zip. And before, let me mention that I am running the Linux version over here under a virtual box. Under VirtualBox instead of using my hard drive, because that is not working currently. So I just need a virtual machine in running on Linux. But with that aside, it should be the exact same process. So click download. Let's download this file over here. Let it download. Let me see where it is. Let me open the destination where it was saved. It's on downloads. Okay, let me close this. And we're going to need to have CMake building. So we're going to have to download CMake. And as well, after that, do a make and run. Make and sudo install. So let me minimize this. Minimize this as well. And the first thing that I want to do is install our GCC so you can actually compile that. And I'm going to be using terminal for most of this tutorial because all the commands for Ubuntu, which is the distribution version that I'm using, and Debian, which I believe Ubuntu and Debian are the two most popular. Even if you use like Linux Mint is a version of Ubuntu, and I forgot the other one, but they're the two most popular, and the commands should be identical. But I'll show you guys how to get using the Ubuntu store, the other softwares, which is really easy as well. But like I said, the first thing I'm going to do is just get GCC. So just let's check if you have GCC installed. Just go to GCC-v, which is version. And right here it says GCC not found, but you can install using this this command over here. But instead of doing that, we're gonna do that, but build essentials. But before that, let's do a sudo, not sudo apt get, so all together, apt get update our packages, put your password. Make sure you have the right password. So just updating our list over here, package list. So let's wait till it gets done. Like I said, mentioned before, I'm using a virtual machine, so it's not as fast as that. Oh, okay, it got done. So then you're going to type sudo. If you don't have GCC or G or make, you're going to have to get that sudo apt get. I'm going to put install build essential gdb. Continue. Yes, I want to continue. And that should install GCC, Make, and G. And then when it's done, we're gonna do the same thing: GCC -v version to check if it's done. So probably going to speed up this version until we get the end of this. All right, now let's check the version. -v. Gives a bunch of stuff, but -version, 2 dashes over, 2 forward over here. It says the same thing. Version 9.3, version 9.3. So everything GCC is installed and working. So it got that out of the way. Now the next thing we're gonna do is download CMake, so we can actually compile our version over there. So I have under here, and you want the Linux source over here, the Linux source. Let's download that, and there's also the Mac version, Linux over here as well. So using the platform, should I copy link or just download as, let's just click here to make it easier. Okay, so let's download it. Download this. Let's open where the thing is over here. Open in terminal. So it's a new terminal. So we're probably gonna have to put the password again. Otherwise, you have to do wget and then the paste over here, which you do the same thing. You just download the thing. So you could do that. And all we're doing is downloading the file. As you see, there's another version right over here. So let me just delete that. And we're right over here. So the first thing we're gonna do after we download it is extract. So tar, which is a version over here, it's a zip file. So I'm gonna do this -zxvf. Then you're gonna just put the name of the file over here. So can I do this? And this is the location. So now it got extracted. And if you click over here, you see all the files that got extracted to. And now let's go to that file. Oops. Let me go back. So cd, change directories. Let me go over here. Or you can type it out. So you don't actually need to. So you could do cds, CMake, as you were before there. But if I either just click drag and drops. So after we are inside of that, let's put //bootstrap. Type that. And once again, I'll skip this part till we're done with it. Oh, all right, so I'm back, and apparently there's an error over here. We need to install OpenSSL. And whenever you come into that, you're going to do sudo apt install /f to install any dependency, anything that depend. All right, so let's go back over here and do this exact same we did before. So instead of install f as I had it before, we're gonna do a, let me clicking, libSSL/dev to get our OpenSSL working. So let's get it done first. All right, so let's try bootstrap one more time. And there it is. So continue on from here. All right, so everything CMake has been bootstrapped. It can't even say that. It says there, now run make, which is, so let's do that, make. So now it's making our file over here. And let me skip forward so you don't have to wait for it. All right, so we're back. So after everything is set, sudo make install. Let's type that. Now after it's built, it's been installed. Okay, so let's go CMake -- version. And there it is. CMake install version 3.18.4. So let me just close all of this. Create your workstations. And either version, if you're under Ubuntu, which is pretty much the only operating system I use, so I don't know about Debian or the other operating systems. But if you do have Ubuntu, you have right here the Ubuntu software store, which as soon as it opens, I hope. Okay, let's just wait it so it can open. Oh, here it is. Here, if you want a easier version to download CMake, you're still going to have to install it, but if you come under here, under development category, and you scroll down or up till you find CMake. So you can click over here, and you can click install over here, and then we install for 3.18.4. Is it the same one that we have? It's a terminal. We open over here. Let's do the same thing. CMake -- version 3.18.4. So if you want, way easier, just click install and it automatically install it for you. So let me close this. So let's come over here to get all your show off. All software. Let me see if CMake is. So let me just. Oh, not you. Let me close you. Let me see what happens if I try to install it again. So quick. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Authenticate. Quick exercise. And I'll just go to the whole process and skip to the end. Just want to see what happens. All right, so I have already installed. I can easily click remove, so you can remove it. And I think now I might have a GUI version right over here. So if I clicked over here, it might give me here it is, the GUI version. It's pretty much the same as I did from the Windows version. You can configure over here, Unix make file. That's fine. Well, then you click your source code, binaries, and so forth. Or you can do over here the CMake usage. So CMake and path to source, or path its existing building. So which one should I do? So let me just close this and just use the terminal version. But if you want to, if you use Ubuntu, you can use the GUI version over here. So let me go back over here. So we want to do a CMake out of this Nesasm master file over here. So let's extract. Let's click extract here. Why not? Of course, you can use the same command terminal that I did before, which is the tar.gz FZ, and then the location. So let's do this. Go back to terminal. CD. CD and this location. So we'll put ls. Excuse me. To see all the files that we have, and here we have the make file in your CMake file list. So if I put CMake, go back, and this directory, or oh boy, where am I? Or should I think if I put CMake .forward. So for this directory over here, let's see what happened. No project command is present. Must continue literal. CMake files over here. I believe it was created. So found GCC, blah, 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 checking, detecting, and writing done. All right, so it says build file has been written to Daniel downloads Nesasm master, which is the directory that we have. And if you remember from the instructions, if I open over here, where is Nesasm? So we created our CMake building, and now I have to make a make and then a sudo make install. So stuff that we did before. So let's put make, then sudo make install. Put in your password if you didn't use in the same terminal. So installing user local bin Nesasm. So let's go to files. So local bin in Nesasm. So that's where our, so let me go over there, CD. All right, so let's, sorry for the delay. So let me show you guys how to, just to show you where Nesasm is. So it's under user local bin. If I buy ls, see Nesasm over there. And if I type xdg/open this location, it's gonna open right here. Here's your CMake, and here is Nesasm compiled. So that's what we needed. So let's close this. So we got two out of the way. Let me close this as well. Close this. Let this part open over here. And I can come over here, click install for Visual Studio Code, pretty much like I did the GCC version. Or you could come over here and download the .deb file over here for both Debian and Ubuntu. So let me save this. So while it's downloading the file over here, wait. All right, so that's downloaded. And while you're here, let's download the other deb file, which is our, where is it? Oh, right here, downloads. This is our FCEUX emulator. So let's click download. Already out there. And here's the Linux version. So let me save this as well, the .deb file. All right, so both of them are completed. So first, let's install the emulator, and let me show you the easier way. So here is the emulator. So you can right click over here, open with software install. It's going to be the easier way, so just let me show you. And as you see right over here, it's using the Ubuntu software store to install our emulator, and here is FCEUX. It's the version, and you can click install. Then you put your password. And you install our emulator. So that's one way, and you can do the exact same thing for the Visual Studio Code. So if you prefer to do like that, or you can come over here under the Ubuntu software store and find it under development tools. And here you can easily click remove and so forth. So let me close this. Let me click here. Here's our emulator over here. Let's click and see it running for a second. And there it is, our emulator right over here. So let me quit. And for Visual Studio Code, we're going to use the terminal. So let's open terminal here. So open in terminal. So open this location right over here. It's the downloads file, and as you see, it's on the download file right over here. And there's two ways to do this. You can do the sudo apt install and so forth, or you can do the sudo install and then sudo apt install, and then you drag the code over here. So you want to install this file over here, or you can do sudo, which is the version that I'm going to use, dpkg, the package / install, and then the path right over here. So let me just do this because I'm too lazy to type. And I believe with the dpkg, it does use the apt install, the last one that I did under the HUD, but it does the exact same thing. So let's just do this. And of course, because type sudo, have to put your password, and you need sudo. So now it's installing our Visual Studio Code right over here. And of course, I'm not going to remove it as it's downloading over here. But if you wish to remove it, you could type sudo apt remove and then the program name, and it would delete the Visual Studio Code from our Ubuntu software system, or Debian, or whatever you're running. So I believe we have everything installed. Let me quickly double check over here. So let me close this. I don't need it anymore. All right, so I actually have VirtualBox freeze on me. So I just close it out and restart. So let's go back where we were, and we're trying to open Visual Studio Code. So let's have it running over here. And I open a couple of times just to make sure it works, and it actually works. And now that we have this open, let's download the first file from the Nerdy Nights just to test it out. Let's come over here. Just go all the way to the top. I'm here in the week 4, or if you're on the week 4. Okay, you don't want to scroll all the way up. Right over here, and I click week 4, scroll up to week 3, and just download the background.zip. And you want to save the file. So let's go where it is. And you want to extract here, anywhere you like. And here are the files that we're going to use to test out our Visual Studio Code in your environment. All right, so that over here, let's create a new workspace, you can here see under the Explorer tab over here, File, Add Folder to Workspace. And let's add this folder over here. Background, right over here. Let me close this. Oh, go back over here. It's saying, hey, we're not add anything to this .asm file because we don't have anything. So everything is just assuming it's a plain text. If you put out of the tag, it's a plain text. It's not any of these files over here. So let's come over here under extension and put 6502. And here is their Beeb.vsc extension, pretty much like on the previous video, or at least in the Windows version. You're going to click install. So if that was done, come over here, extension settings, or you can come under file, preference, settings, and there should be an extensions right over here. But here it has less distraction. And here, pretty much like on the first video, here is where you're going to put your assembler, and here's where you're going to put your emulator. So here is the NES, the Nesasm assembler. If you're coming from the tar 2600 Nesasm, that's the one that we use. And the emulator for the NES is going to be the FCEUX. And if you're doing the Atari, it's going to be the Stella emulator. So you put the location then right over here. And you know where they are, just come over here in the terminal. Come over here, just type where is. So where is Nesasm? It's right over here under user local bin Nesasm. Let me copy, paste. Oh, where is the terminal? And where is FCU? I wish I could pronounce this. So let's user bin. So this is the three locations where they are. I think just copy the first one, should be fine. We'll test it out anyway and see how it works. Oops. Copy. Paste. Okay. So it's under user, save. So let's close over here. Let me check if the settings save. It's saved. So let's close. Come back here under our tab over here and come up under our background.asm. And if you see right over here now, it's associated with the Beeb.asm assembly. So now everything is almost set up. The only thing you have left, come over here in preference and let's go under keyboard shortcuts. If you go under Beeb, you can see all the commands that we have in their key binding. We're going to press F10 to create a new build target. So let's press F10. And the target is your background.asm, of course. And if you come over here in the VS Code, it has created us a task file right over here, that's JSON file. And pretty much like before, or should I say in the Windows version, if you've seen the video, of course, this 0.10 is deprecated. In the latest version, has changed to 2.0.0. Of course, with this latest version, some stuff is deprecated. So let's just delete the stuff that we don't need. And you're going to change this to task name, but change to label. So label, so whatever. I don't think it's necessary. It's not going to change anything. So we have this. So command over here, you can actually take that out, I believe. No, whoops. Actually, yeah, let's take that out. Let's just leave argument over here. Label, parameter you can leave. And here is a file for changing the directory under the C file, under Windows, I believe. It is under Windows. So let's just do that under the Linux CD and this symbol over here to the left of one and the top of tab. I don't know where this hat-ish wave symbol. So change to that root directory over here. So let me save. Here, .bin.nasm, you don't need these prefixes over here. Nasm.asm. So let me delete all this other stuff that we don't need. So here's Nasm, and here we're passing the background.asm. And here's the emulator, and we're passing the background that we're going to compile. So here it says background.ssd. So let's save this. On the terminal, run task. Oh, some errors over here. Command not appropriate. Okay, so let's add that. So let's change this to just background.asm. So that's going to be our argument. And on top, let's pass a command. That's going to be actually going to do this. Take the part out because you don't need it. Command. And this is going to be the part that we remove right over here. So let me save this. And let's do the same thing on the bottom. So command. Okay. And we're gonna just copy this part over here. Leave the background. Save. And this is gonna be the .nes file, but let me show you guys running over here first. So let's run task. Background.ssd, as you see over here. That's the label over here. So let's change this instead of background SSD. Let's say compile background. So let me save this. Run background in emulator. So I know. So if I come over here on the terminal, run task, compile background, run background in emulator. So let's compile. And here it is, Nesasm assembler, pass1, pass2, so it actually works. And you see right over here, it created our .nes, which is our file for the emulator to run on. So that part passed perfectly, 1, 2. And now we're here, let's terminal, run task, run background in emulator. Never scan. Okay, oh, background.ssd. There's nothing over here, like I said before. NES, save. That's the file that you want to actually build. So run, emulator. And here's our background running in the emulator. So let's change this. Instead of this blue, let's put a green over here. Background. Where are you? Oh, right over here. So let me do this. So it's gonna be in green. So let's run task, compile background, and then run task, run on emulator. And here it is, our emulator and our environment both working as needed, of course. And that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. If you're waiting for a Mac version, as soon as I get my hands on my cheap laptop that I purchased, I'll be making that video. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna continue on and make the next video, which is gonna be about the architecture of the Nintendo Entertainment System. So with that said, see you guys on the next video. And if you like this videos and series, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys.